Self-care is not intuitive. In fact, it goes against many of the things that we have learned about ourselves, things we were raised to believe about work and ourselves in the world. I'm here to change that. I'm here to change the narrative and blow up the self-care box. I'm your host, Desiree Rue, licensed clinical social worker, self-care strategist, freelance writer, a lover, and a fighter. And I'm Self Cares AF. And this is Self Cares AF, the podcast. You ask me, and I answer the questions that get you out of the box and into the life that lights you up from the inside out. Hello. It's me again. You and me against the world today. How are you? How was your weekend? How's your week? What you got going on? Anything? You know you better say something. I really, truly hope that you have something planned for you, even if it's nothing. Did you not know that nothing was a great amount of something when it's needed? So welcome back. Welcome back to our time together. I'm so excited to be talking with you today because I'm always excited to be talking. You can ask my first grade teacher. I had to stay after school, literally the first day of school. For what? Talking. Who knew? Who knew that I would grow up to be able to talk and not get in trouble? Well, I'm sure self-care doesn't like me because I am absolutely disrupting everything that we've ever been taught traditionally to understand and believe about self-care that is not aligned with who we are and what we want and where we are going in this day. So maybe the traditional self-care doesn't like me too much talking, but I don't care. So let's get into today because I have been like absorbing and intaking some really powerful information and hanging out with my virtual mentors in my head. And they have been really pouring into me. And I want to pour some of that into you. I don't know if you've ever heard of Fawn Weaver. Fawn Weaver is the CEO behind the brand Uncle Nearest Whiskey. She is a powerhouse dynamic. I became aware of Fawn Weaver just by reading. You know, social media, the news, just talking about this Black woman who is running this $1 billion company in the spirits industry. And once I think I saw that and just started doing a little bit of the rabbit hole digging. Well, who is this? Finding out she was from LA and who she was and just hearing her story. I just became a fangirl. And I'm not usually a fangirl of people. I don't do fangirl stuff. I believe, I see a celebrity somewhere and I'm like, oh, look, there's such and such. Because being a celebrity is essentially you're just well known for the thing that you do. But they're all people, they're human beings just like me. Not that they're better or worse, but they're human. And so I typically won't ask for pictures if I see someone because I imagine, you're really just trying to eat your lunch or your dinner or, unless we're at an event and the event is, where you can take pictures because that's what they're there to do. So typically I don't fangirl people. And I probably don't fangirl too because in my head, I'm a celebrity, so we just all there together. So, no fangirl, but I am 100% a fangirl of Fawn Weaver. And if I ever see her in person, I'm probably going to be like, can I please take a picture with you? Because I think that she's such an amazing person and um, has an amazing story. I follow her on Instagram, all the things you do when you're a fangirl. So one of the things, as I said, she is one of my mentors in my head. One of the people that I follow, take advice from. When I'm thinking through something, I oftentimes will go to um, various things that I've seen her do, sort of read through. She gives great business advice. She's a businesswoman. And so recently, I was listening to a podcast on which she was a guest. And I only went to the podcast because she was a guest. And, it was, she had advertised it on her Instagram. So, I went to listen, and she dropped so many nuggets. But one of the things, and I wrote this down, was a takeaway. And she was being interviewed by 2 women, and the women said to her, "Listen, Fawn, you exude so much confidence. There's just so many people in the world who just, don't have the confidence in their businesses, as you do. What would you say to a person? How do you go into the room confident?" And so she said, "First of all, I never go into a room and feel that I'm invited or that I don't belong there." She said, "Because whatever room I'm in, I believe that God opened that door for me. And so whoever's in the room is of no consequence because I'm there because I'm supposed to be. God opened that door for me. No one in that room invited me there." Then she said, "And then I understand that I'm there to do one of two things. Any room I go into, any thing I get into, one to two things. I'm either there to deposit or I'm either there to withdraw." She said, "Right now, here with you, I'm here to deposit. I'm here to, talk, to leave, give information, to help someone else. But there are times when I go into a room and I'm there to withdraw. I'm there to learn. I'm there to bring something out of it. And that is not a space." She says, "So I'm very clear about when I'm entering in a room, what I'm there to do." And it was as if someone turned the lights on in the building for me. What a way to or what a way to walk into any room, defining the room for yourself and not allowing the room to define you. So what you are there for, walking in with your own purpose. Man, listen. Oh my gosh. I haven't been right since. Like if I come into a room that you're in, I'm already knowing what I'm there to do. Right now, in this space with you, I'm here to deposit. And I recognize that this podcast, this opportunity to talk with you, to share, to disrupt, is me depositing. Boy, I came into the studio today with such a different attitude and comfort because I knew what I was coming here to do. So, withdrawing. And I recognize that even in the rooms that I go into on purpose to withdraw, right? What am I getting out? The expectation is that I'm coming away with something. And I've been having to come out of my comfort zone a bit, and I've had to do some asking. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to ask. You have to ask for the things that you need, advocate for yourself. You have to sell things. And I've had to come out of my comfort zone recently. But knowing now, having this little bit of a rubric that there are certain things that I'm doing to withdraw, that I'm expecting to get something from it, whether it's something for the business or something personally for me, it has just really changed the game. So I wanted to share that with you. One, because it's so exciting to me. And, I like to tell y'all stuff. And two, because I would love for you to begin to think about the rooms that you enter, the relationships that you enter, the interactions that you have. Are you going there to deposit or are you going there to withdraw? Because you get to decide. The room doesn't get to decide. Now, the room may be there to take from you, to withdraw from you. But you get to decide why you're there. And if you're simply going into a room or a space or an interaction and I'm going to deposit today. I'm going to listen. I'm going to smile. I'm going to do something kind for someone. I'm going to say yes to whatever they ask me to do because I want to. That is you depositing. And that is your choice. That is your power. So no matter what somebody else wants you to do, you get to choose. Am I going into this space to simply learn? I'm not giving any money. I'm not, I'm simply going to withdraw. What am I coming into this to get? And to ask for the thing that you need, to learn from the thing that you're going in there to get, to make that choice. I just think that that was such a powerful thing. Like I'm telling you, it's like the lights came on in the room and it really changed even the way that I am doing my work in my business. So when I sit down now and I think about the tasks for the day, they are now divided up into deposit tasks and withdrawal tasks. What's on my deposit task? Well, those are the things like planning to talk with you, right? Those are the when I'm writing for my newsletter, when I'm planning my course. Those are the things where I'm depositing information, where I'm giving and putting something out there for someone else. When I am reviewing information for a meeting, right? Because there's something I want to bring to the meeting that I'm going to deposit. What are my withdrawal tasks? Those are the tasks when I attend a course or a training. I'm going there to withdraw. Simply going into I know exactly why I'm there. When I am listening to a podcast, when I am talking one on one with someone, sometimes that interaction is both. I'm depositing information, but I'm also withdrawing information. So that, like I said, when I tell you it was like the sky opened up for me, you get to choose when you go in a room. Are you going there to deposit something or are you going there to withdraw? So I really encourage you to think about that for yourself because you get to choose. That's the power. Any room you walk into, you go in there to do one or two things. If you look at it that way. So we do have a question for today, and the question is, when I read it, it was one in which I had a little not trepidation, but I could relate to it. As a matter of fact, I recently did a reel on my Instagram page about grief. And the question is about grief. And this time of year, this the season that we're going into, oftentimes brings up those painful thoughts and memories about the people that we're moving into these holidays without. Specifically for me, this is a time that I lost two really important people in my life. One was my four-legged baby, and the other was my partner, my co-parent, my son's dad, and they both passed away in October. So this fall season, this October month brings a lot of feelings. And so for this question to come, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay, I'm not alone." And with that, I would gather that it would also be a relevant question for you. And so I chose it to bring to you today and to answer. And it's about grief. And so the writer says, I'm going through a period of deep grief after losing my mother. I know I should take care of myself, but it feels impossible and sometimes it feels wrong. How can I practice self care when I'm struggling to just get through the day? I want to be there for my siblings. I want to be there for my dad. I want to be there for my kids, but I don't know how to be there for me. Please help me. Ooh, that's tearing me up a bit. So, self care in grief is a serious thing, right? Because the grief process in and of itself is one that really has no time limit. It ebbs and flows, it has its ups and downs. And oftentimes, we really get, caught ensuring that everyone else is okay, right? If you're a person who is kind of already set up, who you are naturally is a person who takes care of others, who's putting others' needs, you are the go-to person to ensure other people are okay. That same thing happens, particularly when grief happens. That people begin to look at you as the strong person to help them to get through. And oftentimes too, we can utilize that as a great distraction because when we're helping other people, we don't have to deal with ourselves. But I think what the writer said about it feels impossible and wrong. Those that really stuck out for me. And here's why. There is such a thing as survivor's guilt. And what survivor's guilt is the guilt that a person who has survived, usually when we hear about it in any type of case situations, is that, two people were in a dangerous situation and one person passed away and the other person didn't. And so the person who didn't pass away or didn't get harmed feels guilty about the fact that they did not. There's some guilt associated with surviving. Um, but that survivor's guilt can also be in situations where someone has lost something or someone, and you are still here. And what I hear in that is that feeling that it feels wrong to want to take care of myself when my father is grieving, my kids are grieving, my siblings. I feel wrong for wanting to not grieve and not feel better. Or I feel wrong for wanting to move past um what's happened, you know, because that may mean that I didn't love the person enough. I don't deserve to be happy or to smile because this horrible thing has happened. Those type of things are mixed up in that survivor's guilt. When something feels impossible, it does not mean that it is impossible because the feelings and the reality sometimes don't go together. In actuality, it is very possible to have self care in the midst of grief. And here's how. The very first thing to understand is that self care looks different for everyone. And it doesn't always mean now's the time to take a vacation or to go away. Self care can also look like not judging your own feelings. Self care can look like grace. Self care can look like understanding you can't do it today, that your emotional capacity has lessened because of the grief. Self care looks like not trying to feel better immediately, but allowing yourself to feel the hurt at the loss of the loved one. You've been in this life a long time with your mother, and now you have to learn how to be in the life without her. Of course, that's difficult. Of course, that hurts. Of course, that's going to take time. Self care is recognizing that and allowing yourself the time needed, not being perfect, not being good every day. So, even though it feels impossible, you can give yourself those things. You are giving a lot of care and understanding to others, which means that you know how to do it. What it also means is that not only do you have the capability to do it, it also means that you have to give yourself permission to do it for you. You've given yourself plenty of permission to do it for others. You have to give yourself permission to do it for you, which means you may not receive the permission from others because others are being comforted by you. So you have to be okay with giving it to yourself and not dwelling on when are they going to get it together for themselves? When are they going to stop needing me? When are they going to stop calling me? When are they? When are they? And just simply give yourself permission to give yourself the care, the concern that you need that you've been giving away. Grief is the most complicated emotion that we can feel. Grief takes over every system that we have in our bodies. It impacts our mental health, our physical health, all at the same time. It can feel unbearable, but it's a feeling. And it is one that can change because our feelings can change. There are some parts of grief that will never fully heal, but there are parts that get better. Time helps, but also utilizing resources for yourself. Just like you are there for others, allow someone to be there for you. And that person may need to be a professional person, someone who is skilled in the area of grief and who can help you understand your feelings and who never get tired of hearing you say the same things and can help you as you transition into being able to live this new life in a way that you've never known it before. So it is possible to take care of yourself during grief. You have to give yourself permission, you have to give yourself attention, and you have to allow yourself to not be okay. You have to let yourself know it's okay not to be strong today and take it day by day. Self care during grief is a daily process. So, whatever you do, you have to do it each day. Be intentional about it each day, and it will look different each day. Because on those days where grief is not allowing you to get out of the bed, self care allows you to call in or call out from work or to tell someone today is not a good day. That's what self care is. Allows you to advocate for your needs. That is self care. So thank you for submitting, this question. I hope that it helps you. The pain of losing a parent is immense. It's horrible. I've lost both of my parents and I know exactly what you are feeling. It is hard to see a life that you've never seen before. And no matter the relationship that you had with your mom, it's just hard not to be in it with them on this side of the earth or this side of heaven, if that is what you believe. So take it day by day, validate your own feelings. When others validate it, make that the cherry on top, but you validate how you feel and accept it. Grief is the response because we loved so much. Get the resources that you need. If you need someone to talk to, who will never grow tired of talking to you about the situation, who won't push you to hurry up and get over it, that is a professional person who listens, who is trained in the area of grief. So I really would recommend looking for a grief counselor to talk with. That's just for you to help you as you are helping others. It is possible to take care of yourself while grieving. It may not always be easy every day, but it is possible. And your self care will look different every day. But the first step is to give yourself permission to give yourself what you need, even if what you need is to say no, to stay home, to lay down, or to cry. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that, the disruptive conversations around self-care has been helpful to you. And, again, take it slow, take it every day, get support, and you let me know how I can support you even further. If you have any more questions or comment, please let me know. And we're happy to continue this conversation with you. And if there's anyone else who's grieving or has experienced loss that really feels like it was just yesterday, but maybe it wasn't, that's okay. Self care through that is allowing yourself to feel that, to remember the good times, to give yourself permission to move forward. You can do two things at once. You can be very sad about your loss, and you can also be moving forward in your life. Doesn't have to be either or. And moving forward does not mean that you did not have any love or concern for the thing that you lost. So again, I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you for sharing. We grow strength from each other. I hope I was able to deposit something today um, for you to take with you as you all move forward. So thank you for being here. Let me know how I can continue to serve you. Any questions that I can continue to disrupt, any way that I can continue to deposit into you, let me know. And I promise I'll do it every time. Thanks so much. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you being here. I hope that today's episode has sparked an idea or challenged a long-held belief or just moved the needle a little closer to what you want. Let's stay connected. Visit my website, sign up for my newsletter, hit me up on Instagram at Desi Eats and Travels, and tag me when you are being self-care-ish AF. I appreciate your time. Comment on this episode. You know your thoughts are important in these podcast streets. So comment, give me your feedback, and I will see you here again next week.